on your mind, Digby Scott?
You know what? I'm thinking about how we have these conversations and how we don't prepare for them. And I've been reflecting on how cool that is and how many people say when they watch this or listen to it that what we like about it is that it's not prepared and it's top of mind stuff. And I've been thinking this about how often do we over prepare for stuff and how that can
Not me.
really stuff it up. Not you. Or maybe we don't. But I'm wondering whether other people do. Right. So I got going on about, okay, yeah, like sometimes we think we need to have it all planned out. We know what we're going to say, and we have our presentation. We've got all the words, and the wedding best man speech, or the CEO comes in and does the blah 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 blah. And
I've got 45 words on this slide, and I'm going to read all of them to you.
Yeah, in order, in different PowerPoint colours, right? And how it's so much more interesting when it's not scripted. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Well, do you know what I think about that? Preparation isn't always what we think it is. So I really like this idea, and I don't know who to credit it to now because I can't remember whose it was, but I'll chase it up later, of sudden illumination. You heard about this idea of sudden illumination?
Haven't heard it called that before, but tell us more.
It's the idea that you do all of this work and it's not visible work and it's not tangible work, but it's happening. And then what happens is the straw that breaks the camel's back, or the final puzzle piece, falls into place, and you go, aha! And it feels like you've just had this great idea.
Yep.
You haven't. So it's just the product of everything that comes before it.
So there's a guy called, I think his name's George Leonard, wrote a book called Mastery, right? It's a tiny little book, and he talks about the process of mastery is you work really hard, you work really hard, there's no perceptible change, and then boom, and you go to another level. And that's what you're talking about. Back in the days of the ancient Greeks, one of those philosophers, I think it was Epictetus.
He's my favourite. He's a Stoic. He knows
He's a Stoic.
what's up.
So he talks about a trained mind is better than any script, right?
Yeah.
And it's this idea that if you've done all that inner work, you've thought a lot about it and you're kind of fluent in it, then you can respond. So, and I was thinking about that, what am I doing in that space? I was thinking about, so in the Changemakers program, what we do is we teach people to learn how to design and run experiments and learn from them. And it doesn't actually matter what your experiment is. It's the fact that you're deliberately practicing experiments. So then whenever you're faced with a challenge or a gnarly issue, you can go, what's the experiment I might run? And then you've got a method for that, right? And I reckon that's the thing with any of this stuff. It's like it's all going on inside. That's what you're saying. What do you call it? Sudden illumination.
Well, this is kind of like what the kids are learning at school now with maths and whatever else, which is that rather than teaching you the answer, we teach you all the different strategies.
That's right.
And what we need to be preparing you with is not a memorised times table. We need to be preparing you with the skills and strategies to tackle stuff when it comes up.
You know, I'm thinking about, did you ever do Toastmasters?
Oh, no, I didn't. But I did do it, like, funny story. Once upon a time when I was a freelance, I will do anything you pay me for. I used to do like comms and PR and write media releases and that kind of stuff. And I did work for Toastmasters doing some of their comms, which is kind of ironic now that I think about
Isn't it fascinating? That's full circle. Wow. So Toastmasters, you might know that is a thing called table topics.
We do that at my dinner table.
Pull out a topic. You have 2 minutes to speak on this topic. Go.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all that's doing is building your muscle to speak unscripted, right? Which is kind of what we do here. Right?
So we do that at my dinner table probably once or twice a week. And it came about because two of my kids like doing debating and performance, and so they wanted to get better at that. And so we do this table topics thing. And interestingly, the kid who likes it the most now and requests it is Harriet, the 5-year-old. Are we doing topics tonight? Can we do topics? So you have to speak for 1 minute, no ums, ahs, or likes. You get to pick who gives you your topic, and then you get to pick who gets to speak next. And you jump up and you're marked on, you're not marked, you're only given positive feedback, not negative. But a good performance is one where you look people in the eyes and you're able to bring some energy and do something creative and ridiculous and the stuff that Harriet comes out with. So her topic is often speak for 1 minute on the importance of hydration. which is a weird thing for a 5-year-old to say, but that's what she does. But we had friends over for a Sunday dinner a couple of weeks ago, because we do that probably about once a fortnight. And Harry, can we play topics tonight? Can we play topics? And so we had 5 other people here, and I sort of went, oh, all right. So I said to the table, we're going to do table topics, and this is how we're going to go. And everyone was a bit, ugh. And watching the difference in my children, who've been doing this for 3 months and are now really confident and awesome, jumping up on their feet and giving a speech, and adults, professional adults, who were totally thrown and didn't know what to say, had a lack of confidence, ummed and ahed all over the place. The only difference being is just that my kids have practiced it, they know how. And so the preparation they've done isn't on any of the topics. It's the ability to pull some thoughts together and deliver them.
That's right. Yeah. I find it really interesting because 95%, probably more, of our conversations are informal, off the cuff.
Yeah.
So why do we get head up about having to be scripted in certain situations where in fact it's more real, just about to go, blah, here's what's on my mind. With a bit of practice.
Because we both talk shit for a living. And so we're well practiced.
We both talk for a living. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to wrap this up?
I think it's you.
Oh. Are you getting yourself tangled up in preparing for stuff, conversations, work, events? Are you focusing on the wrong things? Are you preparing scripts, plans, and agendas instead of thoughts, ideas, and strategies? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one.